So I canceled my Netflix last night. It is February 21st, and their new rules go into effect today for Netflix Canada. If you're a Canadian and you have Netflix, you will no longer be able to watch Netflix outside of your home network. So if you're on lunch and you want to watch a movie on Netflix and you're at work, no. If you share Netflix with your elderly parents because they can't afford cable, no. If you want to, you can pay an extra $8 a month on top of the $20 a month you currently pay for your Netflix. Sorry, not so sorry, Netflix Canada. You will not get my business or anybody else's business that I am friends or family with, because we all have canceled our Netflix until you change your greedy friggin' ways.
Netflix is just brazenly draining money from its customers who are already struggling to make ends meet. And here we just see how companies raise prices for their products because they know people are already hooked on watching series. And it's the ultimate hypocrisy when you've gained their trust and now you're hiking up the prices for everything.
I'm genuinely upset because who decided to put ads on Netflix? It's not just one ad, it's 2 ads, and they're unskippable. And if you want no ads, you have to pay twice as much, and that's just for the standard version. You might as well make it free, because what's the point of paying for Netflix if you're gonna watch ads? Why would I buy a subscription to watch more ads? You buy a subscription to not watch ads. I feel defeated. This can't be real.
Netflix has raised their prices to $26.99. No disclosure, no nothing. Just raised them $26.99. You know what I paid last month? $18.99, which I thought was ridiculous. And let me tell you, people, I don't fucking watch TV. I don't watch it. It's just here for the family's entertainment. Sometimes I'll find a show on there that I want to watch, but this is ridiculous.
Thousands of parents are canceling their Netflix subscriptions because they feel that they are sneaking in stuff like this into their kids' shows.
Subscription prices suddenly jumped from $18 to $26. We see how companies hold people hostage through this lack of regulation, and we see how Trump supporters voted for the government to deregulate business, and then they wonder why prices have spiked so much.
So this is Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, and in this show, 2 of the female characters fall in love. And at one point, they even kiss one another. Now, for some children, this could be kind of confusing, so parents don't like it and are now canceling their subscriptions. Now, this show, along with other shows, are pushing different agendas according to parents. Some people feel like some of the other shows that are meant for kids are pushing transgendered agendas on them. That's not the case for Jurassic World, but it is pretty clear that they are integrating attraction to the same sex in their shows. And the fact that these are kids shows, parents have every right to be upset because they're the ones that are supposed to be speaking to their children about this, not Netflix. And some people would argue this is stuff that you'll see in the general public when you go outside, which is true. But the reason people are upset is because it's up to the parents to discuss this with their children, not a streaming service.
Thousands of people are now canceling their Netflix subscriptions after they started seeing some of the content that they were sneaking into children's shows.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this. Jurassic World, guys, protect the kids.
Now, most recently, there is a show about Jurassic Park and Jurassic World on Netflix that has 2 female characters falling in love with each other and has caused a lot of parents to be upset that their kids ended up watching this without them knowing. And across social media, people are answering by actively canceling their Netflix subscriptions. Some people, like this one here, show that they've been subscribed since 2009, and now they've gone ahead and canceled their subscription to Netflix, all because these shows. Another show today was created by somebody who celebrated the ending of Charlie Kirk, and that caused a lot of other people to go on and cancel their subscription. And in the other please specify section, they said because of the trans ideology and the ending of Charlie Kirk being celebrated by this director. Now, other people who are in support of this say this is just representation and not propaganda, and parents should do a better job of watching over their kids to make sure they know exactly what they're watching. But other people who are actively against this type of content are saying they should not have to police what their children are watching when they're on a company like Netflix. They trust that Netflix is showing things that they deem appropriate for their children to watch.
Cartoons about love aren't a conspiracy, they're just a part of life. It's strange that people bash Netflix but support Trump, who brags about violence against women.
So I ask you guys, what do you think Netflix should and shouldn't be allowed to show when it comes to kids shows and movies?
Wow, the Michael movie's doing pretty well, huh? Check out this new documentary that we made against him.
Okay, we would like to cancel our subscription.
Wait, what? Why are you leaving? We thought you loved Michael content.
I love Michael, and you need to leave that poor man alone. He's literally dead. You're literally beating a dead horse.
This new documentary might change your opinions on Michael with the new information that we've gathered.
I don't want to change my opinion on Michael. I love Michael, and he was already tried for this, and he was found not guilty on all 10 counts. This is double jeopardy. Leave the poor man alone.
But what about the potential victims?
Don't act like this is for the victims, which I don't think exists, by the way. If this was truly philanthropic, it wouldn't be behind a paywall. And you guys chose to sit on this documentary until the Michael movie came out so that you can ride his popularity and gain the viewership and gain the subscribers. It's disgusting, it's scheming, and for that reason, I want out of my membership.
This movie is about business, not about caring for the victims. Netflix wants to hide this behind a paywall to make more money because they operate like everyone else, just trying to squeeze as much cash as possible out of ordinary people. That's how all companies work.
You may be surprised how many Canadians are deciding to cancel their Netflix membership because of the company's new password sharing rules. Canadians now need to set a primary location on their account so that those outside the same household can't access the same account, or you'll have to pay $7.99 per person to add others in your subscription. And now 57% of Ontarians said they plan to cancel their membership with the new rules, and Google searches for cancel Netflix are skyrocketing.
Netflix has lost 200,000 subscribers over the last quarter, and as a result, the share price has plunged 25% overnight in close of trade. They've also suggested that over the next quarter, they expect to lose another 2 million subscribers. So pretty worrying news for Netflix shareholders.
We see how Netflix lost 200,000 subscribers, and that's 25% in just one night. And here we see how people have no money at all to live and pay their rent. But they thought that they wouldn't cancel this subscription. But now, people went and canceled because there's always a way out. There's always a way.
A couple of reasons. The first is that there's obviously an increase in competition. Many more providers coming to market and offering similar services. And the second major reason is that they believe there's 100 million households that use Netflix that don't actually pay for the services just through sharing logins. So they need to rectify that to get those 100 million subscribers actually paying. Interesting to note that there were 700,000 users lost in Russia due to the service pulling out, and 600,000 in America. But Asia, they actually added over 1 million subscribers, making it a net loss of 200,000.
Did you know that Netflix actually costs a lot more than $9.99 a month? See, if you make $40,000 a year, that means your hourly worth is around $20. Which means if you watch Netflix an hour every single day, it's really costing you $625.
People are canceling their Netflix account again because of the new Michael Jackson documentary. So everyone knows what Michael has been accused of over the years. Some believe he did it, some believe he didn't do anything at all, and that the people in high places have put a focus on Michael instead of focusing on other things that are more important right now. So the documentary comes out on June 3rd on Netflix. And it features eyewitnesses, jurors, accusers, defenders, and it's playing on both sides. It doesn't seem to be leaning to one side or the other, but after the Michael movie came out, Michael's fan base has gotten even stronger, and people don't want to hear bad things about Michael or the things he was accused of in the past, especially because he was proven not guilty. But the real reason people are canceling their Netflix account right now is because Netflix has no problem talking about what Michael did, even though they're similar to what people are being accused of doing in those specific files. You know the files that I'm talking about. And Netflix has no problem running documentaries about Michael Jackson when they haven't even looked at these other individuals, and people are now upset and canceling their Netflix subscription. But let me know if you plan on canceling your Netflix subscription and what you guys think.
Netflix just lost a big legal battle over price hikes, and I'm just glad someone is fighting back against them. When Netflix first started offering its streaming service in 2011, it cost $7.99 a month. Today, for its best ad-free tier, you'll spend $26.99 a month. In order to keep driving revenues, the company just keeps raising the price without offering more in return. And there's not much the average consumer can do about it, besides switch to a cheaper tier, or cancel the service entirely, or I guess sail the high seas. But at least someone is fighting back. Recently, the advocacy group Consumer Movement filed a lawsuit against Netflix in Italy, claiming that the streamer illegally raised its prices from 2017 to 2024, because Netflix didn't provide valid reasons for the price change.
Ordinary people are powerless against rising prices because the promises turned out to be lies. We see how Trump gives tax breaks to big corporations, while ordinary people get the bills. And we see how Netflix was convicted in Italy, but in America, they just don't care about ordinary people.
And last week, a court in Rome ruled against Netflix in the case, agreeing that yes, it did illegally raise prices, which means that 5.4 million Netflix users in Italy could get up to 500 euros each in refunds, depending on which tier they were subscribed to. Netflix is of course going to appeal this decision, but isn't it nice to see a streamer lose in court over unfair pricing practices? And what's encouraging here is there are a number of other lawsuits across Europe exactly like this one. Netflix is being sued over price hikes in Germany, Netherlands, and Poland. But don't expect a lawsuit like this in the United States. We don't have consumer protection laws like they do in Europe.
Netflix's password sharing crackdown is coming. From their frequently asked questions for the United States, you can see that if you share with somebody who doesn't live with you, they don't want you to do that. Get your own account. However, if someone signs into your account that is not inside your household as they deem, then you need to get a verification code. This will also affect people that travel on a regular basis, and you too will have to now verify your account every time you go outside of your household. And they determine your household based on your IP address, device ID, and account activity from your Netflix account. This is something they recently removed, where you would have to be on the Wi-Fi at the primary location that use Netflix every 31 days in order to keep using it. Now, this hasn't come to us yet, but this is something in other countries. In Peru, Costa Rica, and Chile, Netflix has fees up to $3 per month for sub-accounts. And if you've had Netflix for a while, you know that they've raised their prices over the past couple years. So, of course, for basic one screen, $9.99, two screens, $15.49, and four screens is $20 a month. Adding another $2 or $3 per sub-account, people are not going to like that, and they're going to drop your service. I guess Netflix is going to pull a blockbuster on us.
Netflix bans password sharing and constantly hikes up the prices. We see how this company does whatever it wants because the government scrapped all the rules for them. And we see how Trump supporters voted for such policies.
Netflix released their ads tier yesterday and it is shockingly bad. For $7 a month, you can watch their content with advertising in 720p. However, they'll restrict you from watching some of the best shows on their platform, such as Cobra Kai, Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders, and a whole host of other shows. And so for just under $84 a year, you can watch some of their shows, not all of them, in 720p with advertising. And then they're wondering why they're losing subscribers, although they did make some of those back recently. But is it worth it for $7 a month? Let me know in the comments below.
I just want to know, why am I paying almost $30?
Please let me know in the comments if you have a Netflix subscription and what you think of the company. I'll be interested to read your feedback. Subscribe to the channel. New cool videos are coming out soon, so stay tuned.